yeah, you just got to trust that, you're good overall. And if you give your best effort in each event, you're going to come out in a good spot.
Jay Crouch, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, mate. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, last time we met, it was the first time we met. I stood next to you and I just fasted for 21 days, and you were a few weeks out from going to the fittest man in the world competition, the CrossFit Games. You were huge and I was tiny, but we've balanced out a little bit since then, which is nice. Tell me about what it's like going to the other side of the world in America to compete with some of the fittest people in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, growing up in the sport, you watch these guys compete, look up to them, all that sort of stuff, and then you finally get there, and it's really cool. So, yeah, I suppose. Oh, can we start again? I was lost.
That's all good, man.
I was thinking about what I already said.
Yeah, just forget anything that you said. And where we go, we'll go. Yeah, we can. Jay Crouch, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, mate. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Hey, man, last time we met, I just fasted for 21 days and looked like I'd just come out of a concentration camp. And you were about 2 months away from going to compete in the CrossFit Games, or as I like to call it, the fittest man and woman on the earth. Fitness being repeat effort. And I think CrossFit's a great example of that. But we've balanced out a bit more since then. Tell me about what it was like preparing and then going over and competing with some of the fittest men in the world.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like, growing up in the sport, that is exactly where I wanted to be. So to finally get there was such a good achievement. And yeah, it was awesome. Like, prepping for it. It was, we do a pretty hard training camp for all the different things that are going to come up. So yeah, to get there was so awesome.
Nice, man. And like, who are some of your heroes that you were competing against?
Yeah, like the likes of, Noah Olsen, got Brent Fikowski, Pat Vellner, all those guys who have been in it for years. So yeah, to be alongside them was pretty surreal.
And who won it last year?
A guy same age as me, Justin Medeiros. So yeah, he's really good.
What would you say? I'm curious because like when you get in the mind of elite athletes, like I find it's a really interesting place to be.
Yeah.
And like, how do you kind of look at him and say, all right, he was doing those things. This is what I'm doing. Like, you must have found some areas where you really want to like shake it up, change it up to try and, be at the position that he was.
Yeah, for sure. Like, honestly, because at the games, it could be up to 13 events over 4 or 5 days. So yeah, honestly, I reckon it's just staying in it and being able to back up your efforts each time and bring in 100%. Like, the moment for me was in between events. I was getting tired and you start feeling sorry for yourself. But I think the difference between the top 10 and top 20 is the guys that are just recovering well, staying dialed mentally, and just bringing the 100% every single time. Yeah, it's pretty impressive to see. And you can sort of see that when you're warming up and about to go out, like who really wants it still.
Yeah. What's the flow of events like over those few days? Like, how does it work?
So they announce it a week or so before, like sort of how it's going to play out. So they can go, say if it's 4 days, it might be from, you start on the Wednesday, you might have a rest day on Thursday, and then you go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that could look however, they might start with a swimming event or a running event. For instance, we did, I think it was maybe like a 1K swim and then like paddle canoe across the lake that we were at, and I think it was like we were like paddling for like over an hour.
Oh my god!
Like it could be anything. And then for the rest of the weekend is your standard CrossFit workouts, Olympic lifting, all functional fitness stuff, gymnastics. Yeah, it's just such a wide variety of what it can look like.
And are there like a couple events each day, or it just depends?
Yeah, I think there was up to 5 in one day.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's not, well, it could be 3 pretty hectic events, and then, you might get one that's just weightlifting, like maybe a 1 rep max, and then another one could be just like a handstand walk sprint or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely up to like 3 pretty hectic events where you have to bring it.
Did you just say a handstand walk sprint?
Yeah. So I think it was a handstand walk obstacle, like sprint, one of the workouts. So like that was going upstairs, down ramps, and then going up a ramp across like parallettes, down a ramp. Like it was like 3 or 4 obstacles up, and then you had to come back, and that was one event.
Oh my god! So you're literally handstanding up and down and left and right over these things, and when you like fall out of the handstand, I'm guessing you can't move, and then you have to get right back into it.
Yeah, so there was lines in front and behind each obstacle, and if you didn't clear, that section, then you had to go back and start again.
Oh, okay. So you got halfway through it, you fall out of it, you got to go back.
Back, yeah.
Oh man, how did you go in that?
Well, I really like that stuff, so I sort of went a bit too hard. I got a bit too excited, and I tried to just go all the way down, without stopping, and cooked myself towards that. And then it was just yeah, didn't look good from there, that's for sure. So I think I ended up I was hoping it was going to be a top 10, and I think it ended up being like 15th or something.
What were your shoulders like after that event?
Yeah, they were pretty burnt out. Like it doesn't take much to recover from like a handstand walk effort, but it's just like in the moment they're like cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so once the schedule comes out, like, do you choose like, okay, I'm going to go a bit harder in that event, I'm going to go a bit easier in that event? Like, how do you kind of manage that? And like, you obviously know what your strengths are. So how do you kind of plan the overall over the 5 days?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like something I've been working on with my coach as well. Like before comps, when these workouts get announced, you're like, oh yeah, that'll be good for me. Oh, that's not gonna be good for me, But then it sort of plays in reverse. Like for an example, at the semi-final last year, one of the events that I thought was gonna be my best one was my worst one. So
Right.
I feel like now having expectations going in is like not a good thing to do. But yeah, you'd still do know what your strengths are and your weaknesses. But yeah, you just got to trust that, you're good overall. And if you give your best effort in each event, you're going to come out in a good spot.
Yeah, I had Dylan Alcott on a few weeks ago, and he said very similar thing. He's like, when I was trying, the key word there being trying to win like all the Grand Slams, or the Grand Slam, I should say, then, he's like, I got to the last one and I was so set on winning them all that I fucking choked and it all went out the window. He's like, this Golden Slam that I won last year, he's like, I had no expectations. He's like, I was just going there trying to be my best in every point,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I like that.
Yeah, definitely similar sort of thing. Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So you came 18th last year. How did you feel about that? And yeah, tell me more about that.
Yeah. I'll just quickly correct you on that. I come 18th the year before, which was it was like virtual because of COVID, was like hectic then. So last year I come 22nd.
I mean,
in person. Yeah, similar sort of thing. I thought I'd clear it up so
no, thank you.
I can explain this part. I was like, I definitely had confidence from the year before, like with 18th, and then I felt like I could crack. Like my goal was to crack the top 15. So yeah, I didn't feel. In saying that, it sort of ended up being a completely different comp because it was in person. So I still feel like it was good, but yeah, I didn't feel great about it because, you know, my goal was that top 15. But yeah, looking back now, like I still feel like it was just really good experience to sort of build on. And hopefully we can bring that this year.
Yeah, how do you readjust after 22nd last year?
Sort of just what I explained before about more the mental side of it and bring in my 100% every single time and not feeling sorry for myself between each event as the weekend goes on. You get tired and you're just like, oh, should I be here? You know, you just gotta stay positive and bring it every time.
It's like a real practice of presence. You know, something doesn't go your way, it's like, okay, well, that's in the past now.
100%. And it's such a roller coaster ride because there's all these events, and you know, if you finish in the back end of one of the events, you know, you're down, you're like, do I want to be here? And then you have a really good one, you're like, yes, I love this shit. So, yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster of emotions.
What are you doing between those events during a comp? You know, you talk about recovery, but to me that it's really like speedy recovery,
Yeah.
because you might be competing in another few hours and then, you know, you got more the next day. What's the process there?
Yeah, it's just getting food in, all the easy stuff that you can get in, like the nerves take over, so it's sort of hard to get food in. But yeah, obviously get food in, and then um yeah, just looking after yourself, like stretching, all that sort of stuff. Um just chilling out really. And then when it's getting close, you know, you're warming up and you're getting ready for the next one.
What sort of food are you putting in?
Baby food works best for me. It's so easy just to get in, and then you got your oats, and then electrolytes, all that sort of stuff.
So I'm hearing carbs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And when
But
you
yeah,
say,
baby food's a good one. Like it's just so easy.
are you talking like packaged kind of like pre-cooked soft stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Just like that, and then like the fruit, like puree, sort of like
Yeah.
in the packets.
Yeah, interesting. Is that common among other people competing?
uh, yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so.
Yeah, interesting. And when you're so you're eating some baby food, which mind you isn't as crazy as it sounds. Like I know lots of people who are who have like young kids at the moment that, you know, like 0, 1, 2 years
Yeah.
old, and they're like, oh, we're just eating baby food all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's great. It's easy to
It's
prepare.
actually really good.
Yeah, it's simple. And so yeah, do you have like any kind of like stretching like routine or modality that you follow, or is it just like more simple, like I just smash my quads, so I'm going to get into my quads?
Yeah, exactly. It's just sort of the little niggles that I might have. Like if my knees are feeling, you know, rough, I'll just work on my legs, even with like the massage guns and all that sort of thing. But yeah, pretty much just whatever's feeling a bit shitty.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so uh Theraguns, like like is everyone using them? Is that like a common thing?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I reckon everyone would have one of them now.
What other kind of tech are you and some of the other dudes doing?
A big one that I like is like the recovery boots. Like when your legs are just smashed, like even competing, but just training during the week. Like if you smashed your legs, it's so good to um, get those on. Yeah, I really like them. They're really good.
Are you doing like ice bath or anything like that?
I'm just saunering every night.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. And from your perspective, caveat here, I'm not saying this just to sell saunas, but I'm curious, like from an elite athlete perspective, like how do you find the sauna?
Yeah, I love it. Like even just mentally as well, just sweating it out and just like relaxing. Like for me, I just love getting in there and just, having my own space and yeah, and just like, yeah, just chilling out and like I catch up on all the UFC stuff that's going on and just sweat it out. So yeah, that, and I find it's just really good for my sleep. Like overnight, I'll yeah, just sitting there and just, yeah, I suppose my body just like really chills out, and then I'll have a shower and go to bed. Like I've really found a big difference in that.
Yeah, infrared sauna is so good for that. Like
Yeah.
I was chatting to a friend the other day, actually. I went to the dark side, I call it, and I went and had a steam sauna. And we're talking about, yeah, we're talking about steam sauna, and we're talking about infrared. And I was like, but man, like where the infrared really shines is it's not just about cooking yourself. You can get in there, you can get into parasympathetic nervous system, you can calm down, and it's time for yourself. And at the end of the day, it's a fucking dream.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so using sauna, using some Normatec boots, what are you kind of like? Actually, no, I'm curious about this. So, like, when are you typically, like, now you're obviously working out, you're working towards some goals, I imagine, and competing later in the year. Like, when are you normally working out during the week? Like, is it mornings? Is it evenings? Like, or do you have certain workouts in the mornings and the evenings? Like, tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah. So I mainly just train at about 4 o'clock just every night during the week. And we usually get everything done in about 2.5 hours. And then, yeah, I have the weekends off completely. So I find that works really good. Like most people just have one day off, but yeah, I find having the 2 days off is like really good because Monday comes around and you're like really looking forward to get back in the gym and work hard. So I feel like I can give my best effort for, 5 days in a row.
And are you doing certain workouts like earlier in the week when you're a bit fresher, and certain other ones at the end of the week?
Yeah, yes and no. It sort of like changes around a bit. But yeah, it's still just given, yeah, the same effort, as you give on Monday to Friday. It might look a little bit different because the body's a bit beaten up, but yeah, it's still, yeah, all the same.
Yeah, I guess there's that mindset of like the competition, but within the week, got to give it all regardless of what day it is.
Yeah, 100%.
You say 2.5 hours, like that to me sounds like a long time in the gym, which is probably why I'm the size I am. Although that being said, I can spend 2.5 hours in the bouldering gym. Time just seems to go there. But yeah, like talk me through what 2.5 hours looks like in the gym for Jay Crouch.
Yeah, so it usually will start off with like a lifting piece. So that could be, squatting or your Olympic lifting like clean and jerks or anything like that. And then it will roll into the workout, which again could be anything. And then just a lot of skill and accessory pieces after that. So yeah, and that's usually probably about an hour as well. So the first hour is, yeah, that lifting and workout piece, and then all the skill and accessory stuff would be, your hour and a half after that.
And what do you mean by accessory?
Just all, your focused movements. Like it could be bench press or all just the little things like all strict sort of movements. And then your skill pieces are, sort of like your handstand walking stuff, or you know, we do pegboards now. As pegboard, you go up and down a pegboard. Yeah, all more like focused stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And I guess the non-accessory stuff is more like functional stuff where like there's more kind of complex whole body movements, those sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. Pegboards are really cool. Do you like get into a bit of kind of is it called Ninja Warrior? You know, like that kind of crazy jumping around, grabbing onto stuff kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, when we were in America for one of the games, we went to a Ninja Warrior gym, and I was very bad at it because it's all like a lot of like real forearm strength sort of stuff. So like, yeah, you would think that it would like carry over a little bit, but I found it really hard.
Yeah. And is it also like sometimes like more slow movements, like more kind of precise in a way?
Yeah, like timing, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like my body weight doesn't help me either.
Right. How much do you weigh right now?
I weigh 85 kilos.
And how tall are you?
About 175. So what's that, like 5'9"?
Yeah, man. We are exactly the same height.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. You have got a lot of muscle going on right there. It's so interesting because like I said at the start, when we met, I just fasted and I was the skinniest I've ever been. Your height, but I was 47 kilos.
Yeah, that was crazy. Hey.
Yeah. And it's amazing what the mind does, because over the last, it'll be almost 12 months soon, I've really put on what to me feels like a lot of weight. Like right now I'm like kind of 62, 63 kilos.
Yeah.
And I look in the mirror now and I'm like, man, you're huge, Alex. Like, yeah. Like, holy shit, you know? But then, you know, in perspective to yourself, like someone's super fit, like, no, I'm actually not huge at all.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking about the fast. So how many days was that?
Last year it was 21 days.
21 days. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about it in the same way. Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing experience, you know, and a real kind of interesting, almost like an honor in a way, because after that fast, like I had no strength, like none, you know, and it was like the analogy I use, it's kind of like being reborn again. Like I couldn't, if I've got a pot over there, I actually couldn't, or I really would have struggled to lift that and carry it to the other side of the house at the time. And so you have to like rebuild from square zero, you know, and it was kind of interesting to go through that. You know, I actually got into yoga at the time, and it was the first time I ever got into yoga, but to kind of rebuild the body, I really got an appreciation for like how amazing the body is. And like how fucking awesome it is to actually have strength. Yeah. You know, and yeah, I feel like in some ways you don't really go through that, because when you're born and, you know, it's like this whole period to get up to when you actually have some strength. Yeah. And so going through that, you know, like it really was like going back to square one and like fundamentals, you know, like holding warrior two in yoga was hard work. Yeah. You know, like I had no glutes. I had no hammies. I had no quads, you know, like nothing. Yeah, exactly. Also known as insanity, you know. Yeah, but no, that's super interesting. Yeah, it was an interesting time. So tell me about like what's your focus now? What are you doing in the gym? Trying to do a bit differently from what you did in the past? Like, where's your head at? Yeah. Well, we're preparing for the semi-final, which is just over 2 weeks away now. So that's in Brisbane, and yeah, I suppose I sort of sound like a broken record, but just really focused on bringing my best effort for everything I'm doing, and yeah, just working on, I suppose, in the moment things to giving more and giving my best. Yeah, and I feel like we're in a good spot, so I'm really keen to, I suppose, show that in 2 weeks. Yeah, nice. And so how many people will be competing there? 30 males in the open, sort of the men's. Yeah. So, but it's going to be pretty big. I think, there's a lot of divisions just on the side, which is going to be cool. And there's a lot of
a lot of athletes back, so it's going to be pretty stacked.
Right. Is it going to be hard?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good battle. Like there's maybe like 5 or 6 guys that can take that top 3 spots to the games. So yeah, it's going to be a good fight.
And what's the camaraderie like at these events?
For the boys, everyone's pretty cool. Like everyone's mates. Like we throw banter around before events, and sort of low key try to get in each other's heads. But it's all good fun.
It's not low key, let's be honest.
No.
It's totally tactical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet cars, man. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were working on those. That's funny. And who in the women's CrossFit world is in like really just killing it right now?
It's a Aussie girl, Claire Toomey. She's won the games like the last 5 years, and I think she's going for 6. So,
wow.
And she's back in Australia this year, so that's why I think it's sold out. So I think she's probably the main reason for it. So yeah, she's just like impressive to look at. Like as in, she's just so fit, and she just carries herself really well. Like she's probably going to be go down as the greatest CrossFit athlete of all time.
In both female and men.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, she just brings like this level of professionalism and just like awe. Like you see a workout and it's like, what is happening right there?
Yeah, you're on the money there for sure.
Yeah. And where's the event?
The semi-final. It's in Brisbane, so it's at the Pat Rafter Arena. I think it starts on the 20th, so it goes for 3 days.
Yeah, cool. Nice. And so you're saying she's going to be the greatest of all time. Like, I'm thinking of the name that's coming to mind is like Rich. He's like the original CrossFit OG, right? Rich Froning.
Yeah. Yep. So he won it 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
And then Matt Fraser as well. He beat him and won it 5 years in a row. So Tia's matched Matt's 5 years, and she's going for 6 this year. So it makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's insane. How's CrossFit changed over the years? Because like originally it was like on that farm, right? It was all like the CrossFit Games that were, but how has it generally changed over the years, and even in terms of like the style of workouts and what it takes to be the fittest person in the world now compared to maybe what it was a few years ago?
Yeah, as a like company, it's had its ups and downs, like change of ownership and all that sort of stuff. But it's definitely got to a point now where I think it's building to be, maybe like on its way to sort of be as, I wouldn't say as big as the UFC, but it's sort of on its way to get like that with all the media and sort of all that sort of thing. But yeah, as you said, from being on a farm to now packing out stadiums, all that sort of stuff. It's really cool to see. And I suppose on the athletes side of things, it's gone from guys who are being good at sports rolling into just still being fit and able to do CrossFit. It's now changed to you have to grow up doing it. Like you got to be well, for me, I started when I was 13. Everyone, like a lot of people didn't even know what CrossFit was. So, and now, most people do. So, I think it's cool to see that, how you see a lot more younger people starting up. And I think to get to the CrossFit Games now, you have to start when, you're 12, 13. Younger, like even just doing all the basic things. It might not be lifting weights, because I know there's a lot of like controversy around that, but just learning the movements at a young age to be able to carry that over, just like any sport, really.
Yeah, a lot of people would hear 13 and go like, hold on, you're not supposed to be working out that young. Is that still the case? Like, is the science still backing that up nowadays, or is it a bit different?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Like, but I feel like I copped that a little bit when I was that young. Like people were like, oh, but I feel like it didn't affect me too much.
Yeah. It's not like you're like 4 foot tall or something and undeveloped or something like that.
Exactly. But obviously to a certain degree.
Yeah, no, I really like that though, because, just like anything, it's time spent doing the thing.
Yeah.
Like that is what, there's a great book called The Talent Code. And, I can't remember the author, but he goes around the world to where like the best tennis players are created, the best golf players are created. And like, no, we're not born with talent. Like, yes, there's some science like quick twitch and slow twitch fibers and those kind of things, but ultimately it's time doing it.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that you're doing it from 13. You're pretty fucking good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Definitely makes sense, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, my partner's pregnant at the moment, and
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks, man. And like sometimes I have these thoughts of like, okay, I'm gonna start dangling soccer balls in the room, like right from when they're young, and like all that kind of thing. It's
plant
like
the seeds.
Hey,
plant some seeds.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like soccer balls and guitars is all they can interact with.
Maybe chuck some golf clubs in there. So
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I guess in your case it'll be like, let's get some baby dumbbells in there.
Maybe.
Get them doing double unders as soon as I can.
Some handstand obstacles in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, my baby started walking, but I'm not that fast, to be honest. I just kind of, if they were doing handstands, that'd be more, that'd be better. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So it's all about to happen then in a couple of weeks, and then when will the games be? I'll say we'll put some intention there. So when will the games be?
That'll be start of August. So yeah, hopefully we get the job done, and then it'll be all in from there.
Nice. And is the goal top 15?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Let's go.
I was gonna ask you, like, what would you say your strengths and weaknesses are, but I don't want to give you competitors the advantage,
Yeah. No, I like it.
Then they'll start kicking up that banter, like trying to get you off pace. That's cool. And who's your coach at the moment?
Rob Forte.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been under him for since I was about 17. Yeah. So yeah, and it's all pretty dialed in. So
yeah. I feel like Rob's like the OG Australian men's CrossFitter.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Also happens to be huge.
Yeah.
And but so is his heart. Like,
yeah.
Rob's awesome.
Yeah. Nah, he's really good.
Yeah, nice. Well, it's been a pleasure, mate. It's been a while since I've CrossFitted myself.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna go and do a class or two.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it for me. It was always like, I traveled a bit, and the thing I loved about CrossFit, I'll never forget actually, because you will have met our friend Bruce, and
yeah,
I traveled with Bruce, and he was into CrossFit, and I'd never done CrossFit before, and we were in Sydney for an event, and he's like, mate, I'm going to go and do a CrossFit workout in the park. Do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, that sounds fucking awesome. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we go to the park, and I was like, what's the workout, man? He's like, oh, well, what we're going to do is we're going to set a timer for 7 minutes and see how many burpees we can do in 7 minutes. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, that's it. He puts the like Hey June on, and we've got some like music playing on the phone in some park in Sydney. I was like, this isn't what I had in mind, dude. Like, this sucks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of CrossFit, is you can really do it anywhere, and I find that super handy when you travel, because you can just go to a park and do a workout,
Yeah, for sure. It can be as complex or as simple as that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, or like you were saying, like, what were you guys doing? Like rowing in a boat for like an hour or something?
Yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm bad for remembering workouts that I've done, but yeah, well, it was definitely just over an hour after like a 1.6 something K swim.
Are there any that you do remember that were just particularly sucky?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's called Friendly Fran. It was a games workout, and that was 3 rounds of 21 thrusters, 21 chest to bar pull-ups, and the thrusters were at 52 kilos. So for those that don't know what a thruster is, it's like you hold the barbell in like a front rack and you squat and press it in one sort of motion.
Yeah.
And
Squat and press it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, that's the closest I've come to spewing. And then I was pretty much like on the ground for a good 45 minutes, just trying to recover from like the head, like all my feelings of like passing out, all that sort of stuff. So I think I did that in like 4 minutes 26 or 36, something like that.
Right.
And yeah, that was the first workout of the virtual CrossFit Games in 2020.
Ouch.
And yeah, definitely one I won't forget. It was like just a good intro. It's like, welcome to the games.
Yeah, copters.
Yeah.
How many thrusters did you have to do?
21. So it was 3 rounds of 21 thrusters, 21 chest to bars.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's sort of that, and it's at that weight where like if you drop the bar, it's going to be the difference of a few spots. So yeah, it's like you have to hold on, and that's where it gets you.
So how did you break that up?
So the plan was to do it all unbroken. And then I think the last round of thrusters, I like buckled on like the 15th rep and it just fell apart from there. And the same with the chest to bar.
Because once it's on the ground, then it's like you got to put all that energy to get it back up again.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's just more the time that you lose.
Right.
Because, most guys, well, not most, but the ideal situation is in that type of workouts, because it's so short, you don't want to be putting it down.
Yeah.
That's going to be the difference.
Yeah, it's like a quick, spicy one.
Yeah, that's it.
And in the chest, were the chest to bars kipping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. CrossFit mostly keeping.
Right. Oh, yeah. That sounds. I can't even begin to think what that would be like to do that kind of workout.
Yeah. Oh, just gassy. Soul taking.
Soul taking. There's still a bit of your soul on the ground out there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, nice. And do you like utilize or practice any other kind of sports outside of CrossFit?
Yeah, it's like I used to. I like when I was, teenager, I was playing football, AFL football, and a little bit of basketball, I think, as well. But yeah, then from when it started to get serious, like I sort of just dropped all that. So, but I feel like I still like will just play like, your ball sports and stuff just for fun around like with your mates.
Right.
And then I also ride mountain bikes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like full downhill, or do you do a bit more cross country?
Yeah, more downhill stuff. We I don't know if many people know, but I just come back from Bright a few weeks ago, and that's like a really good mountain bike park. Get the shuttle bus up, and then really good runs on the way down. So that was awesome.
Sick. What do you ride?
I just got a Trek Fuel EX8, which is sort of your cross country bike, but just a dual suspension.
Yeah. Is that an e-bike?
Nah, it's not.
Good,
I would like an e-bike for my local trails. I don't have to ride up, but I suppose it's good for the fitness.
Yeah, it's true. Who likes riding up the hill though? Really? Yeah, that's sick, man. I haven't actually been to Bright, but I've heard really good about it.
Yeah, it's such a good little town as well. Like everyone's just riding around on their mountain bikes, and then there's a lot of things to do there. It's cool.
Yeah, nice. And are you like full on like getting big airs and tail whips and those kind of things?
I don't know. I'd like to think I'm all right.
I'm sensing some modesty there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's like you get too confident with that stuff and you have a little off and then you're humbled straight away.
Yeah.
So I got to stay in the skill level, that's for sure.
Stay in the pocket. Yeah. I'm curious, do you wear, like, what sort of protection do you wear?
Yeah, it's just knee sleeves, like the knee sort of protection. Obviously a helmet, gloves, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I should wear something for me elbows as well, but haven't bought that yet.
No, I think knees are the main thing. I talk from experience because I came off the other day and my knee had a really abrupt conversation with a large rock coming out of the earth.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
No. Luckily for me, I'm not using my body for my job, so it was all right for me to hobble around for a few days. You know. Yeah. I guess that's part of it. You know, there's a guitarist I used to love. Well, I still do love Joe Satriani, and I remember reading an interview with him, and he said the day came where I just had to give up snowboarding. He's like, because if I hurt these, I can't do my thing, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's probably a good thing you got the knee pads going on there, because
for sure. And it's definitely something I stay away from when the comps are getting close.
Yeah.
Just in case. Even just like, you know, your little crashes that you have that you like just get like a couple bruises, they're still annoying when you gotta compete.
Yeah. Bloody oath. Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast, Jay. If people want to find out more about you, where can they find you? And are there ways to be able to support you to get you over to the States?
Just I suppose your main ones, Instagram. It's just jcrouch_. And that's pretty much it. I suppose the main one, support wise, was last year when COVID was full on. We got a bit of a fundraiser together, but now we're all sweet. So appreciate any support over on the Instagram.
Nice, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, man. Same here. Appreciate it.